When we read Acts chapter 27, we see Paul sailing to Rome. And as they are sailing to Rome, we see that they are experiencing a storm. And the storm is so bad that they are at the point of risking their lives. And we see what happens at that time. In Acts chapter 27 verse 24, it says, now Paul receives a word from Jesus. It says there, do not be afraid. That's Jesus talking to Paul. You must stand before Caesar. In simple words, what God is telling Paul is, Paul, you are in my will, you are in my plan, you are doing exactly what I desire, and nothing's going to happen to you. You are going to reach Rome. The storm's not going to consume you. It's not going to destroy you. Isn't that amazing? When you're in the plan and the purpose of God, no matter what storms you may face, it can never destroy you. Come on, stay encouraged. Walk in the will and the plan of God. But the word that Paul receives does not just end there. It says there, and behold, God has granted you all those who sail with you. Isn't that amazing? What God is saying is, Paul, all who are sailing with you, I'm going to give them also safety. I'm going to preserve their lives as well. Why? Because of you. Come on, isn't that awesome? That because of Paul, all those who traveled with him were safe, were preserved. Their lives were kept safe. Come on. Does not that tell you something? Staying connected to godly people does have an impact over our lives. There is definitely an overflow that comes upon us when we stay connected to anointed men and women of God. Women and men of God who are obeying the will of God, who are in the plan and the purposes of God. Remember, Jonah, he was a man of God, but when he was disobedient, it brought about problems for all those who are around him. Here we see Paul, he was obedient, doing what God wanted him to do, and there was an overflow of blessings, of preservation, of life to those who are connected to him. Come on, I want to encourage you. Know one thing. If you are connected to a man or a woman of God who sincerely, with all their heart, seeking God above everything else, you will definitely have an overflow in your life. You will surely experience it. Many a times I've spoken about living an overflow life. One of the things we spoke about being connected to God. Well, another thing I want to add to that today is stay connected to men and women of God who diligently persevere, press on with God, because the anointing they carry will definitely rub onto you and you will experience an overflow. That's what happened to the people who sailed with Paul. They were safe. They were preserved. The storm could not destroy them. They reached the shore. They reached the island of Malta. Come on. I want to challenge you, encourage you. Stay connected to anointed men and women of God, and you will definitely experience an overflow. And if you are diligently seeking God, a man or a woman of God, one thing I can assure you, no storm can destroy you or crush you. You will see God accomplishing all that He has for you. So 2 things for you to meditate on. One is, stay connected to men or women of God. If you have somebody who you know is diligently serving God, press on with them. You will experience overflow. Secondly, if you are a man or a woman of God who's diligently running after God, one thing you can be assured of, no storm can crush you. You will come out of it. God bless you.